hold their procedures so they can, if they're wondering where, what they need to work through, what's coming up next in the procedure, they can look there on those tablets very easily. They were also taking some selfies earlier, maybe some good memories of what's leading up to their future launch to the International Space Station.
You got to make the most of it, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And the two of the crew members there on your screen are veteran astronauts, so they've flown previously. So Anne McLean as well as Takuya Onishi have both been to the International Space Station before, so I'm sure they're familiar with launch scrubs and all the procedures and processes that go into that.
Again, this is exactly why we go through a countdown. We have automated checks. We have automated checks. We have manual checks. We have a whole team in mission control here in Hawthorne that monitor the vehicle and all of its systems to make sure that everything is good. We have a team monitoring all the ground systems to ensure everything is good. Again, if we are not 100% sure that we are safe, that we can launch safely and reliably, we will call a hold on a launch just like we did today, hopefully in the next day or two.
Again, there are several other opportunities this week. The earliest is tomorrow, about 24 hours from now, but again, waiting for confirmation from the NASA and SpaceX teams on when they will schedule that next opportunity, whether it's tomorrow or sometime later this week or even next. And there on your screen, you can see the closeout team. It looks like they're beginning to work to open the hatch. And then once the hatch is open, the crew will begin exiting one by one with some assistance from those ground teams. And just by the number of people you can see on your screen there, you can see just how big of an operation it is to launch people.
SpaceX, stand by for side hatch open.
SpaceX Dragon, copy.
And Dragon SpaceX, hatch is open, so we'll be handing you off to the closeout team for egress. Sorry we couldn't get you off today, but we'll speak to you soon and look forward to trying it again.
SpaceX Dragon, we copy. We see the closeout crew. Great working with you today. Kudos to the whole team. I know it was a lot of work to try to get it to go, but like I said earlier, we'll be ready when the equipment is.
And there you heard some nice words from NASA astronaut, the commander of Crew 10, Anne McLean, talking about the scrub, but also talking about how grateful they are for all of the teams and the work that they've put into today's opportunity, even though it didn't go as they planned. But again, there are additional opportunities that will be available once the teams work through those ground issues on the hydraulic system for the clamp arms. And again, we also heard and saw on our screen a moment ago that the hatch for the Dragon spacecraft Endurance has now been opened. So those closeout team members will begin removing the crew members from their seat one by one. And then from there, the crew will go down and get into their vehicles and be taken back to crew quarters.
When that hatch opened, they waved to the closeout team. This is a team that they've been working with for many, many months, so they're very familiar with each other. And as Anna, you were mentioning, there's a lot of teams involved with a launch like this. Several teams helping to make a crew launch like this happen. The closeout team working with the crew side by side, obviously the crew itself, the operations team that helps train the crew for launch. Then there's a lot of training with NASA for the science. So there's several teams that are involved with a mission like today's, and it's okay that we're not going today. We will go when every single one of those teams is ready to go.
Yep, and we also have the SpaceX Mission Control here in Hawthorne, as well as NASA's Mission Control team for the International Space Station in Houston, Texas, as well as the launch control teams in Florida. So really a huge undertaking to launch humans to space successfully. And we've been launching people now to the International Space Station for almost 25 years, with that 25th anniversary of continuous human presence coming up later this year.
Yeah, and NASA astronauts have been flying with SpaceX for the past 5 years, since Demo 2 in May of 2020. And this will be the 10th rotational crew mission, making the 11th with NASA and SpaceX.
Yep. And those crew rotations, they're also intricately timed, so the crews typically spend around 6 months aboard the International Space Station once they get up there. So the current crew rotation that's up there is Crew 9, which was the 9th rotational crew mission for SpaceX flying NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. And once Crew 10 launches and gets to dock to the International Space Station, they'll complete that handover period with Crew 9 before Crew 9 makes their way